Every spring, the women of New York leave the foolish choices of their past behind and look forward to the future. This is known as Fashion Week.
Of course, the clothes make it enormously popular.
If you take the fashions of the series, now we're making the movie, multiply it by 50.
How are we gonna add more clothes? But we did. We found a way.
The fashion is really different. Really, really different.
The purses and the shoes and the jewelry, and having the freedom to mix it up and have fun. I think it's a real delight for the eyes.
We all love Pat Field, and her contribution is really, you can't even measure it.
Pat Field is an artist. She's almost like a jazz musician. I've had amazing experiences where I felt like, oh, let her lead the way.
She's really good at telling a story with clothes, and she really knows these women in the city because she helped create it.
She was always about, like, what is different, what is new, what is fresh, what are they wearing in Chinatown?
Having Pat join us was really, I think, crucial to making the movie feel as familiar as it did, you know, watching the series.
Don't they look good?
We could not tell the story without her, period.
There is so much wardrobe and sex in the city. It comes from Paris, it comes from Italy, it comes from New York, it comes from everywhere.
She pulls from every aspect of high fashion, low fashion, impulse, the world.
Important archive pieces to literally right off the runway.
I had to come up with some kind of plan of action by which I could follow, some philosophy. Since the end of the TV show to the movie, it's in those years that I built the movie on. Our audience knows these women. You have to give them something that makes sense.
Now I believe this is all really happening.
I saw Carrie a little more sexy, a little more calm with herself as a woman.
What's the label?
No one. I found it at a vintage shop.
A dress by no one.
She's definitely a person that's older and different, whose tastes have changed, whose palate has changed, and that's what happens when you grow up.
Everybody remembers the flower from the TV show. We used it in the opening scene when we first see her.
I really love Carrie's clothes in the movie.
Another hard thing about being in LA? My sex on a stick next door neighbor. I can't stop looking at him.
Looking?
Just looking. Samantha's fashion is all about being flamboyant. Sometimes it's a little trashy and fun. And she's not interested in the status quo.
This is Samantha's Los Angeles wardrobe. And you know, it's the Samantha colors, primary and bright.
Yellow, you know, I sort of see her as a lioness. Reds are great for Samantha. Everything that has vibrancy and life.
In the movie, she's bolder, but she's still Samantha.
Charlotte has pudding in her Prada.
With Kristen, it was trying to push it just a little beyond the preppy and see how far I could get.
Girls.
How does little preppy Charlotte evolve? Maybe as she got a little older, she got a little more sophisticated. Maybe she got a little more like Jackie O. That fits the bill for me.
I'm going for a run and then to the gym for Pilates. Anybody wanna? Even though she still has her worries, Charlotte is more settled now and more grounded.
That's it. The only two choices for women, witch and sexy kitten.
Oh, you just said a mouthful there, sister.
Miranda has a few different selves. Certainly there's her work self, which is very tailored. At the same time, Miranda's going to try to keep up with her girlfriend's looks. She's going to try and prove to them that she's not a boring lawyer lady.
Miranda is just a little more chic, less chaotic than the original Miranda. This is what maybe the new Miranda might wear to work. This color is great on her red hair. Still the same person, but just put together a little bit more cleanly and more sophisticated. The men are all quite different as well, just the way the women are. Some have a fashion edge. Mr. Big, he's that iconic male. Some look like a regular guy. Miranda's husband, Steve, jeans and shirts.
Stanford, as a character, was very much created by Pat Field. It's the only character where she had carte blanche. She just went hog wild. I don't think I'm wearing one piece of clothing in the movie that cost less than $10,000. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it should be.
Sometimes I would have a reaction like, oh, but is this realistic? And I'm going, listen, if you want to do a documentary, do not call me. I do entertainment. I don't want to send it into the outer atmosphere, but I do want to lift it a little bit off the ground so that it's entertainment.
Background and action.
In the movie, I've used a few elements that I am personally enjoying. For example, belts were very important. The belt gives the shape. So I wrapped everybody in belts. Suck it in, girls, or yank. I think it's the new silhouette that we'll see in Sex and the City, the belted waist. I was thinking, let's make a small bag statement. So we rounded up all the small bags wherever we could find them, as well as shoes.
What would happen if these were to magically disappear?
Yeah, I know where you live.
We used in the movie some heavier shoes, a little stronger shoes.
Sex and the City had such an impact on fashion in general. Women wanted to wear these high heels and bright colors.
The audience was identifying with the details of the show. It freed women to dress in a more powerful and more personal way. It brought out the individuality of women and therefore the confidence of women.
It humanized a lot of fashion and made it understandable and more accessible to the average person.
How does an unemployed girl with 3 roommates afford the patchwork denim Boley Louis Vuitton bag?
It's rented.
Sex and the City turns a fashion brand into a household name. Suddenly, millions of women know who Jimmy Choo was.
There was Christian Dior, there was Manolo Blahnik.
Sex and the City gave women permission to acknowledge their obsession with shoes.
Shoes are mood altering for women. It's like taking a jewel out of a little box. You feel sexier, you feel taller. Doesn't matter if you're having a fat day, a thin day, your shoe size remains the same.
To me, a good shoe is a shoe that you first look at the woman and then you consider looking at the rest, like her shoes, etc. But you should still look first at the woman. It's an extension of their own femininity. It's an extension of their own characters.
Well, I'm gonna merchandise it up, style it up with some shoes.
I love the scenes when I have the 4 of them walking down the street or whatever they're doing. The audience loves them. I think it's enjoyed by all.
Great style at every age.